Yeah, Doug, I guess the obvious one is the injuries at wide receiver and in the secondary. Is the on offense, especially, you just do what you can do to shorten the game, try to run the ball, and limit the amount of time that Cleveland has the ball. It's you know what what's the master plan, I guess.
Well, I don't. I mean, obviously we have a plan, but we're comfortable. We'll have Keelan will be out there for us, and obviously Labiska's back, and he had a good week. Um, Colin Johnson, and then we'll probably make a move and bring someone up from our practice squad, Trey Quinn. Come on up, and maybe we may even make a move later on to bring up a fifth receiver. We'd have to make a roster move to bring up Terry Godwin. So, those are things we're doing, and then we'll just go in there and try to execute the game plan we have in place.
And how much was Maven actually able to practice with you guys this week?
2 days.
Okay. Did you see enough that you comfortable with throwing him in there Sunday?
We don't really have a choice, so we got to get him ready, to be ready to go.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Gary. We'll go to Mark Long.
Yeah, Doug. I mean, what do you do at this point defensively? I mean, what's the best case scenario when you're down? I mean, I think it's like a dozen guys off of your two deep to start the season and three coaches. And I mean, you just shake your head and hope to maybe outscore somebody.
I think you look to go and play well. I mean, you look to these guys that are coming in there and see the opportunities that they have. Guys that might not, wouldn't have gotten these opportunities, obviously, if the other players were there. So, it's a chance to show what they can do, whether they should be in this league or not. And it shows you about the roster. So, we'll see. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, those guys practice hard, like I said before. It's like the same thing. I mean, they're looking forward to it. They have a great opportunity in front of them. I don't think anyone gets on a team and wants to be a backup, what I'm saying, for their career. Unless they've gone out there and really don't have any confidence, and then they just want to stay there and not get exposed. But I think, it's going to lead to, great teaching, because I'm a firm believer that, you can only take someone so far as like when you practice. Okay. So you go ahead and practice. You can practice all you want. You can take a player. I just remember a story with Brandon Moore when we were with the Jets. Okay. Brandon Moore was a converted defensive lineman. So I was coaching him. So I'd keep him out after practice and, worked him. And I remember going into Terry Bradway and I said, I can't do anymore. You know what I'm saying? We've taken him to, to where we got to see if this guy can play. We went into the last game of the year. We were playing Miami. He was playing against a guy that was a 6 or 7 year vet, good player. Brandon played extremely well. And, after the season was over, at the end of the year evaluations, we had to make a decision because we were going to move on from an offensive guard, and we were trying to figure out who that guard was going to be, for the future. And I said, I think we found him. I mean, it was week 16, and Brandon Moore took that starting guard spot, and I think he played, I don't know how many years, and he became a captain, and it's a great story. So there are things like that. Do you like to do that as a coach? No, you don't want to do that. But when opportunities arise, people have a chance to take advantage and either open up some eyes, or you can be in trouble. I mean, it can go either way for you. So, but I'm excited for the guys that are going out there to see what they can do.
And on a separate note,
Sure.
Marcus Paul, you and him cross paths. What was your reaction to him passing?
It was hard. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was my teammate. I got the call early before obviously it was anywhere out, and I was just shocked. And we were on a call. I mean, not a call, but those string of text messages that you get from guys that you played with or you've been around. And I really can't say enough about Marcus. Not only did I play with him, I actually worked with him again, when we were in New York. So, got to know him in a different light, and got to know his family a little bit. When I tell you, you talk about a guy that can brighten a room, that is never down, that is always positive, that always did the right thing, that, everyone can look at for support and clarity, and just an unbelievable person. I mean, obviously we know he was obviously an outstanding football player, but I mean, it's hard. You get into a point. Floyd's not doing well. He's in hospice, and this happens to Marcus, and it's during Thanksgiving, and our thoughts and prayers go with him and his family. So it was it was tough. It always is tough when you lose someone that you have a ton of respect for and you've worked with and played with, and it's just a tough deal.
Thanks,
Thank
Doug.
you. Yep.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go to John Reed.
Coach, with all the adversity you faced this week, how do you think it galvanized your football team?
I had a good time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm out there calling the defense, running around with those guys. I mean, it was fun. I think that I think I don't want to take away how hard it must be for the coaches. You know what I'm saying? I mean, being away and not being there, actually on the field. So I think that was difficult. I think, again, I give a lot of credit to the players. The players are, working hard, individual, basically, we don't have enough to go around to all the individual groups, when they're working. So, they got a schedule. The leaders of those groups took those groups, what I'm saying, worked them through. I kind of just managed it. Everyone was going, and, we did a good job with substitution, cards, players helping each other. So, like I said, there's no issues on this team, when it comes down to, things that could happen, what I'm saying, when coach is on around. So I give a lot of credit to these guys, and I know I appreciate it as the head coach. And I know that, I'm sure the coaches that were, that are watching the practices on tape and working with them on Zoom meetings, appreciate the effort and how they went about their business.
And a follow up, you said earlier this week that the expect the unexpected, but you and Cleveland got a lot of people not playing Sunday. Do you think just this game is just you on similar terms with Cleveland as far as not having key players on defense?
I don't know. I mean, you look at their team. I mean, there's a lot of concerns. I mean, you have, those two running backs are outstanding football players. Jarvis Landry, I've always had a ton of respect for. You got tight ends that can run, with Hooper and David, and, a good offensive line. I think, defensively, Olivia Vernon's still there, and playing at a real high level, coming off the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. So, I mean, it's going to be a great challenge for our football team. But again, they're 7-3 for a reason. That, they don't get me wrong, they've lost, two really good football players. Myles Garrett, potentially could have been, and could still be, defensive player of the year, in the league from what he's doing. I mean, he's wrecking havoc out there. And, the corner is a really good football player, that's played at a really high level. So, I just think, I don't know. I mean, I know that's a great challenge for us. I can't, it's hard for me to look at it from the other side.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Thanks, John. We'll go to Cassidy and then wrap up with Mia.
I was actually just saying, I think he answered all of my questions on that last one, but to just kind of build off of it, I know without OBJ that their downfield threat is not as threatening, I guess you could say, but what are they doing well besides just the tight ends?
You know about throwing the, I mean, obviously they're running the ball extremely well. They're one of the best running teams in the NFL. So, they're shortening the game, time of possession. I think both of those running backs, each one of them can take it to the house at any time, if you lose a gap and go. I believe that, the play action pass, passing early, obviously Baker Mayfield can make all the throws. He can, he can move, he can hurt you with his feet, he can extend plays. I think the line's playing really well. They got some good players up there. So, I don't think it's a team that's a one-dimensional team, even though the stats may not show that. The stats will show that, hey, they run the ball. But, they're doing a good job of it. I mean, they really are. They're running the ball extremely well. I think it's 158 yards a game or something like that. But you can't sleep on those receivers. You can never sleep on Jarvis Landry. I've always, played against him when he was in Miami. Have a ton of respect for him. So he's a great player.
How much defensively do you have to prepare for him to throw now? He's done that a couple of times, hasn't he?
Who's that?
Landry.
Oh yeah, you got to be ready for all the plays. I mean, I'm sure they have other guys that can do it. From reverses to jet sweeps to double reverses to all that stuff. I mean, when you put in these, when you get ready to play a game on Sunday, you got to be ready for everything, and everything's got to be covered because, if you don't do that, then you're falling short of coaching and putting the players in the right position. And at the same time, I think there's a balance of making sure you don't, give them too much information where they're looking for that stuff and then they can't react as quickly to the plays that we need to stop.
Thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Cassidy. We'll wrap up with Mia.
Kind of answered my question a little bit there, Doug, but just expanding on Chubb and Hunt and what they've been able to do on the ground game up in Cleveland. You guys have obviously progressed these last 2 weeks in defending the run. How would you assess that performance and what has changed and what can you expect on Sunday?
I think it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think that, we've done a better job, and I think, like you said, we progressed on it. But again, I think we're talking about, two elite running backs right here, two guys that, you miss a tackle, they can outrun that second wave or that next wave of people that are coming. I think that, in space, both players are outstanding, in space. So you've got to get as many people to the football as you possibly can, to try to get them down. I think they're both like two number one type backs, what I'm saying, that are in the backfield, that can just do an awful lot. And, there's a lot of misdirection to their offense. So you got to make sure that, your eyes are disciplined, everything that you're doing is disciplined, or otherwise, at any point in time, they can take a run that would be a 3 to 4 yard gain that you would normally say, no, okay, they're just going to run it right up the middle, and one missed block or one missed gap. I mean, that thing can go 80 in a heartbeat.
Obviously, they've had a couple positives, including Miles from COVID-19 these last few days and weeks. There's clearly a situation going on in Baltimore. What's your confidence right now, Doug, in, not only getting this game played on Sunday, but moving forward?
I'll go back to what I've said before about the league. I think the league is, continuously, looking at ways to improve the protocol. I think that, it's been a whole learning experience for all of us, and this is the NFLPA and the league office. So, they keep coming out with protocols that keep trying to protect the league so that we can finish these games. I don't know the answer to, if these things, if something does happen where you do have these large outbreaks, but I'm sure that, people in New York and the PA, they probably have already discussed those plans. I don't know what they are, but it seems like, like we all read. I mean, they can go pretty much till Tuesday to play. And then after that, I don't know if there'll be a week 18 or anything like that. I got a bunch of questions this morning on the radio, but, I really don't know. For me, I think you guys can all understand we have so much going on here right now. I'm not, I'm just trying to make sure that, we can field a team, go out there and get ready to do our best to win a football game.
Thanks, Doug. And before we wrap up, I have to ask, did you go turkey or ham yesterday?
Excuse me?
Did you go turkey or ham yesterday for Thanksgiving?
Ham.
What about the macaroni? I know you guys, you usually do gravy and pasta, right?
Yeah, but that's I didn't get that. I didn't get that yesterday, so it was tough. Yeah, I know. Believe me. Hey, there's a lot of things different about this year. Okay, so Thanksgiving is just part of it too.
All right, thanks, Mia. Thanks, Coach. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
All right, appreciate it.